Factorization of cubic functions. This is grade 12 mathematics paper 1, cubic functions, just after the calculus section. We have explained different methods of factorizing cubic functions. This is just another method, just to give us more options. Let's look at how to factorize cubic functions. Now, to start with, if you are told that f of negative 1, this expression here, f of negative 1 is equal to 0, it means the value of x is equal to negative 1. And if the value of x is equal to negative 1, then it means one of the factors of your expression is going to be x plus 1 in brackets. So after factorizing this expression, one factor that we must have is x plus 1. Now when factorizing this expression, we multiply the first factor that we got, which is x plus 1, times ax squared plus bx plus c. Multiply those two. Your multiplication is to be done using the FOIL method. So x times ax squared, x times bx, and x times c. Then 1 times ax, 1 times bx, and 1 times c. Then you simplify that expression to simplest form. Now, it must be simplified to simplest form or to standard form. So standard form means in your expression, you must have 1x squared, only one term with the x squared and one term with x. In my case, I have got two terms that contain x squared and two terms that contain x. So we put them together according to x. The ones that contain x squared when they are together and the one that contain x together. Then from there, we use factorization. These two terms, x squared is a common factor. These two terms, x is a common factor. So we factor out x. After factoring out x, we can therefore go ahead and do our factorization. Now, we now compare this expression that we just simplified to the expression that we are factorizing. We match the terms of the two expressions. In our expression, the coefficient of x cubed is 1. Then in the expression that we just simplified, the coefficient of x cubed is a. So that means 1 for x cubed and this a here. The two are equal. Now, the coefficient of x cubed and the coefficient of x cubed, they are equal to each other. What does that mean? It means the value of a is equal to 1. So we get the value of a by taking the coefficients of x cubed. Then the coefficient of x, now we got the second term. This one which has got x squared. The coefficient of x squared versus the coefficient of x squared. That means b plus a is the coefficient of x squared in my expression. 2 is the coefficient of x squared. So those two are exactly the same. You equate them. B plus a equals to 2. The same applies to c. The coefficient of x, the coefficient of x in the other expression. So here I've got c plus b as the coefficient of x, and here I've got negative 5 as the coefficient of x. Those two are equal to each other. We also equate them. As an option to determine the value of c, we can also use the last term. The last term is negative 6 in my case. The last term is c in this case. So that means c is equal to negative of 6. That is an option for c. So a is 1, b plus a is 2, b plus c is equal to negative 5. We can now calculate the values of b and c. So this one here substitutes a, because a is equal to 1, b plus a becomes b plus 1. That will give me the value of b if I simplify. Then I have got the value of b plus c, which is equal to negative 5. Now in this expression, if I remove b and put 1 in this last equation, it will give me c is equal to negative 6. Then you write your expression in brackets. So going forward, we now have the value of a, we now have the value of b, and we now have the value of c. To complete our factorization, this part here, which is a quadratic expression, we factorize that into 2 more brackets, and that will complete my factorization. I have factorized the cubic function. So where did we start? I'm going to explain the same thing but using a different question, just to make sure that we get this method correct. Let's start here. F of negative 3 is equal to 0. What does that mean? It means x is equal to negative 3. And what does that mean? It means x plus 3 is a factor of this expression. X plus 3 is a factor of the expression. So we're going to multiply x plus 3 multiplied by ax squared plus bx plus c and simplify to standard form. Please take note, the multiplication that is taking place here, that times that, that times that, and that times that. Then that one we multiply, and we also multiply. That will give us our expression in expanded form. Then we put together the squared ones, x squared and another x squared, and x and another x. Then from there, we are going to use the factorization to express our expression in standard form. Then the next thing is to compare the coefficients. The coefficients of this expression that we just simplified here, and the coefficients of the expression that we are factorizing. So starting with the coefficient of x cubed. Here the coefficient of x cubed is 1. That gives you the value of a right there. A is equal to 1. Then you take the coefficient of x squared, which is b plus 3a, and the coefficient of x squared here, which is 4. That will give us the value for b. So we can say b plus 3a is equal to a positive 4. So let me just correct this one. B plus 3a is equal to it's equal to negative 4, because the coefficient of x squared in my expression is negative 4. Right from there, that is a negative 4. Then this will allow you to calculate the value of b. You put 1. We have got the value of a is equal to 1. So bring 1 into this expression here. You get 3 times 1, which is equal to 3. And that gives you the value of b. Then when we get the value of b, we can substitute further to get the value of c. and c is equal to a positive 10. Remember, there is an option for calculating the value of c. We can calculate the value of c by equating the last term of our expression to the last term that we have there. This will give us the value of 3c being equal to 30. And if you divide both sides by 3, you get c is equal to 10, which is the same 10 that we have here. Now we have our expression. The value of a, b, and c are calculated. You put them in brackets and factorize the quadratic part of this expression to complete your factorization. Then we can say the cubic function has been factorized. So this is a little bit involving calculation, especially if you are doing it in an examination where it's a bit tense. So we have to do everything we can to make sure that we avoid minor mistakes, because once a small mistake happens, it means the entire calculation will be a problem. That is factorization of cubic functions. Thank you very much for watching. This is one of the methods that can be applied. There are a number of methods that you can apply in factorizing trinomials and factorizing cubic functions. So this is just one method. You are welcome to use whatever method you are happy with. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you for subscribing, and thank you for encouraging your friends, your brothers and sisters to do the same thing. Let us meet again later. God bless you. God bless your learning.